Hey everyone, Shabby Game here, and welcome to the next part of our King of the Cruiserweight tournament. I'm sorry, I think I may have cut the beginning of this. I'm having some troubles with my game recording. I think I may have cut the beginning off there, so I've restarted it. It's good. That made the difference, does it really? We're here. Of course, as you can see in the ring right now, our current Octane Cruiserweight champion, Sin Cara, has his first match in this King of the Cruiserweight tournament. He is going to be taking on one half of the current Octane Tag Team Championship. So gold versus gold in this one, in the shape of Kushida. Oh god. Now remember, we do have it set up, don't we? I remember now, where if you do defeat a champion where you are in that division, then you do get a nice chunk in points. So this is worth a lot of ranking points, this match. Should Kushida defeat Sin Cara, Kushida's going to get a chunk of ranking points here. Should Sin Cara defeat Kushida, then the Lucha Dragons should get a nice amount of ranking points in the tag team division. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Of course, 3 more matches for you here this evening. Starting off here with Kushida versus Sin Cara. Then we have got the Adrenaline Cruiserweight Champion Petey Williams taking on Alex Shelley, the other half of this tag team. And then to finish things off here this evening, we do have a special match for you that PJ Tovey has put together. 2 big names, I've been told, but we will have to wait and see who that is going to be. Of course, this is the final 3 singles matches for the first round. And then we'll be busting straight into the quarterfinals in a couple of days' time. We've got some really good quarterfinals lined up for you. Rich Swann versus Pete Dunne, Will Ospreay versus Mark Andrews, Christopher Daniels versus Akira Tozawa, and Kalisto versus Hiroshi Takahashi. Hiromu Takahashi, should I say, sorry. The bell goes and we are underway. One of these guys is going to get a nice chunk of ranking points out of this. And you know, I just feel like Kushida should win this one. Kushida, I just feel like he's one of the top cruiserweights that we have on Octane, but at the moment, of course, he's caught up in the tag team division. And there's a good chance here, you know, well, I say good chance, there's a possibility that we could see Kushida face off against Alex Shelley in the semi-finals here. In the semi-finals of bracket 3, of course, which will be an interesting one, seeing partner versus partner, but it would be a great match to see as well, wouldn't it? Kushida fighting free, and there's a dropkick on Sin Cara. As Kushida continues, sorry, I'm drinking cider as normal. And Kushida now locking in the reverse chin lock, keeping Sin Cara grounded. Might be the best bet. Of course, in a cruiserweight tournament, everyone's very high flying. Really, the majority of guys in this tournament are very high flying, and keeping people grounded is generally going to be the best way forward. Because you don't keep Sin Cara grounded, this when he starts getting you like this, with those big kicks to the back of the knee. Makes you wonder now, if they were to change Sin Cara again, they'd have to make the guy, whoever it was, wear a shirt, wouldn't they, because of the tattoos that Hunico's got. So they could never go back to, well, they're not going to go back to Mystico now that they released him, but it'd be interesting. I don't know whether they just think get rid of Sin Cara. I don't think anybody's really that interested. I don't know if he sells a lot of merch or what, but maybe just bringing Hunico in as part of the, I don't know, would Hunico get over more than Sin Cara? I'm not sure. Hunico maybe is a 3rd member of the Colons, maybe. I don't know, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Sin Cara is over on SmackDown now, isn't he? DDT there by Kushida on Sin Cara. So, of course, the winner of this one, which is not going to happen if we get dodgy lion salts like that, but the winner of this one will go on to face off against Matt Sydal in the quarterfinals. Standing moonsault there by Kushida on Sin Cara. A win here for Kushida would definitely put him right at the top of the rankings, but as we know, I'm not a fan really of double champion, so I probably wouldn't give Kushida a Cruiserweight Championship match until he lost the tag belt, but you never know, we might be able to do it. It's just that I like to get to every pay-per-view and have every single belt defended. I'm not a big fan of somebody having to wrestle twice in a night. Standing corkscrew moonsault now by Kushida. Brings Sin Cara back up to a kneeling base. Takes him up into a suplex. There's the pin by Kushida. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. Big boot to the back now of Sin Cara as my TV's about to turn off. There you go, got it. It's one of those like energy saving things. If you don't press a button for so long, it gives you 30 seconds before it turns it off. Diving elbow there by Kushida. Not really what we were expecting, really. The high flying diving elbow is a bit of a weird one, but Kushida now really lining up Sin Cara, other side of the ring. What's he got planned here? Slowly stalking, walking towards Sin Cara. And a big brutal kick to the side of the head. But that's not all. Kushida looking to line Sin Cara up once again. Into the Kimura lock. It's going to be enough to keep Sin Cara down. Is Sin Cara going to tap? He does. And Kushida is victorious in what was actually a very easy match for Kushida. And that is going to give him a nice chunk of ranking points in the Cruiserweight division. And it's going to see him definitely get pushed up. And probably, I'm going to have a look and see what it is going to be. Because we had it set at quite a massive amount. I don't know whether that might be a little bit overkill. So I'm going to have a look. I'm thinking we're looking at probably around about 20 or 25 ranking points for beating a champion, I think. Beating a main event champion gives you even more, but I think beating a lower champion, I think would definitely be around about that sort of point range. But that means we've got Matt Sydal versus Kushida in the second round of this tournament as well. And because Sin Cara has been knocked out in the first round, I am going to say that he will have to defend that Cruiserweight Championship at the final of the King of the Cruiserweight tournament, of course, coming up for you next Sunday. So we'll try and have a look around and see who performs especially well but doesn't necessarily make it to the final, and that person can face off against Sin Cara for the belt. Who knows, if Kushida gets knocked out by Matt Sydal, might even give Kushida the opportunity. And here we go then, straight into our second match of the evening. And this is going to be the other Cruiserweight champion as Petey Williams faces off against Alex Shelley. So Petey Williams, of course, the shiniest man in SWE. Nobody can quite beat the shine of this man. There he is. The man who has literally been oiled constantly for the last 26 hours by a team of Canadians. And there he is, of course, wearing his Adrenaline Cruiserweight Championship, which he won at the first pay-per-view that Adrenaline put on, of course, in a Fatal 4 match. He will have to defend that belt should he get knocked out here and not make it through to the finals. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Of course, he's currently fighting it off against another man holding gold. Like I said, Alex Shelley, the other half of the Time Splitters tag team. Alongside, obviously, Kushida, who's just made his way through to the second round. And he'll be facing off against Matt Sydal. So, of course, he'll have one more match for you after this one. And that is a special one that PJ Toby has put together involving two guys. He's not even told me who these two guys are going to be yet. But he seems pretty excited about the match. And I'm pretty excited about the match as well, to be honest. I want to see what he's pulled out of the bag. And here comes Alex Shelley as well then. There he is with the Octane Tag Team Championship around his waist. It's actually really good Alex Shelley, isn't it? It's been a bit of a struggle this year with finding some of the good calls, but I think it has got better and better and better as time's gone on, which means we might struggle towards the beginning of 2K18 based on some of the calls that are available. We might struggle a little bit, but I think we'll be fine as time goes on. As the game gets older and older and older, more and more fantastic calls are released. A lot of it's going to depend on who is going to be on the roster as well. Because a lot of people do spend a lot of time creating people that 2K generally miss. So there'll be people creating some of the NXT guys, depending on how many NXT guys 2K give us. But they have promised this year the biggest roster by far, which sounds good to me. Normally we start to find out rosters around about the SummerSlam time, so hopefully this year will be no different. And then once we've got the roster, we can start to plan out our draft and hopefully schedule Mr. PJ Toby to come up and visit for a draft when 2K18 is released. So a bit of chain wrestling to start things off. And Captain America, of course, good old Petey Williams in control at the moment. Oh, gets caught though really quickly with that snapmare. Now Alex Shelley dropping a knee into the back of Petey Williams. Of course, Alex Shelley, former NJPW Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champion alongside Kushida. Of course, former X Division Champion over in TNA as well. Never really been given a chance at WWE though, as I would love to see There was a point in time where Motor City Machine Guns were my favourite thing in TNA, and I would love to have seen Shelley and Saban make it there. Unfortunately, Saban's singles run was probably... It was great on paper, but it just didn't really take off for me. It was a poor attempt at recreating the Austin Aries situation, I think, and it was never going to pull it off. Never going to pull it off. Petey Williams up top. Went for the leg drop, but Shelley rolls out of the way, and Petey Williams drops spine first on the ground. Great way of compressing your coccyx there, and if you do compress your coccyx, you can crush every single nerve in the spine. PJ Tovey himself has had that injury recently when he fell down the stairs. Completely sober, apparently. Big right hand there by Petey Williams, who is one of PJ Tovey's favourite TNA wrestlers. Former TNA wrestlers, should I say. Although the way TNA going, wouldn't surprise me if he turns up again. Shelley now tripping Petey Williams over. It's a very back and forth match, this one. No one seems to be able to take control of this match at any point in time. Drop kick there right to the face by Alex Shelley, who is now in a bit of control. But can he keep it as he deadlifts Petey Williams up into a German suplex? Very impressive. Shelley now bringing Williams back up, has him up on the shoulders. There it is with the air raid slam. And Shelley is in firm control at the moment. And this would be a nice little scalp here for my Octane roster. For one of my guys to get a victory over PJ Tovey's Cruiserweight champion would really be a little scalp for me. There's the standing sliced bread there by Alex Shelley as well. And now lining up Petey Williams with that super kick to the face. I'm not going for the pin, and Williams fighting back. Not quite sure Williams is entirely sure where he is after that kick to the face, but he's back in control of the match, and now, wrenching that arm. Shelley's have to be careful, because if Petey Williams gets enough pressure on this, he could dislocate the shoulder, but Shelley does manage to roll it through. Of course, we do know on 2K18 already, we've saved ourselves one core with the addition of Kurt Angle. So we got that already. Then when you add into fact the Cruiserweights and the NXT guys and the UK, we're going to have a lot more cores available next year, I think, just based on the on who we've got as... Ooh, Petey Williams looks like he's lining up for a standing Spanish fly, and hits it perfectly. Brings Shelley back up to his feet. Takes him up. Rocking some little Petey pump here from the storyline Petey Williams did with Scott Steiner. There it is. The suplex with the squats in the middle. Followed up with a big elbow drop, and getting very Petey heel at the moment. And here he is lining up Alex Shelley for an incredible move. I love this move. The sick flip power driver, the Canadian Destroyer by Petey Williams. There's the pin. Shelley's busted open too. And no, Shelley kicked out. Very interesting here. Very, very interesting. Shelley kicking out. Petey Williams now just stalking the ground at Alex Shelley. Dropping double legs right in there. Shelley with a big right hand to the gut of Petey Williams. And straight away into a sister Abigail. There's the pin. Has Shelley done it here? 1, 2... Oh, and a kick out by Petey Williams now as well. What a match this is turning out to be between these two. Shelley heading up to the middle rope. Drops a back senton straight across Petey Williams. Williams now jawbreaker on Alex Shelley. Into the turnbuckle. What's Petey Williams got planned here? The higher they go, the harder they fall. And Williams is taking Shelley very high, and he falls hard. Super backdrop. Petey Williams continuing the assault now, bringing Shelley back up to his feet. There's the snapmare. Goes to the dropkick, but Shelley rolls free. I think now with Shelley bleeding, the longer this match goes, the more difficult it's going to become for him. He gets caught. Looked like he was going to go for a powerbomb. Williams there. Williams reversing it into an X Factor. Williams again taking Shelley up. And again sets himself in for a nice couple of squats. And dropping Shelley. Big elbow drop to follow up. He's like he's going through a set sequence here, isn't it? Williams, Canadian Destroyer. There's the pin. 1, 2, and Alex Shelley is eliminated, and Petey Williams moves on into the quarterfinals to face off against the mystery opponent. We don't know who the last two guys in this tournament are going to be. Of course, we are going to find out in a very short time. A real back and forth match again. This really could have gone either way, but it was the Adrenaline Cruiserweight champion Petey Williams who makes his way through, and he's too big name to fit inside my box. That sounds dodgy, doesn't it? I've printed off a nice little bracket that I'm filling in as it goes through, and yeah, his name's too big for the box. Too big for the box. Still have to try and figure out who Sin Cara is going to defend his belt against. Indeed. Mandrews? Mandrews? I'll have a look. But now let's get into that secret special match that PJ Tovey's put forward for us. And here we go. So let's see what PJ Tovey has got planned for us then. The first entry in special is Kota Ibushi. Oh, that's a big name to put forward, that is. A very, very big name to put forward. That could be... Oh, you've got to put him down as one of the favourites now, haven't you? You have to put him down as a favourite. Is that a good Kota Ibushi? I've not used this one yet. Oh, we have used this one, haven't we? That's not too bad. It's not too bad. So who's Kota Ibushi's opponent going to be, though? PJ did say this was going to be an incredible match, so he must have somebody just as equally good to face off against Ibushi. Oh, really? We thought he was in Tijuana working in an orphanage, but apparently El Generico's here, making his SWE debut. Okay. El Generico versus Kota Ibushi. That's quite impressive, actually. I am really quite jealous that PJ Tovey's managed to pull out such an awesome match. That's... Oh... you've got to think that potentially the winner of this too... You've got to think the potential of one of these two actually winning the tournament outright now. We've got some really strong guys in the second round, but Generico and Ibushi, I have no idea who's going to win this one. Well, I'd say that Generico kind of managed to keep his cape in the right place, so I wouldn't worry too much about him. What a special Generico. So Kota Ibushi versus El Generico, the generic luchador, here in the King of the Cruiserweights tournament, the final first round match of the King of the Cruiserweights tournament. And straight away, Generico going big backdrop on the apron. Wow, Generico's going for it here. Of course, making his debut in SWE, Generico. Rolling straight through into that, and be interesting to see what moveset he's got on this as well. Be pretty damn cool if it's the brainbuster on the turnbuckle. Oh my god, that'd be amazing. Ibushi powerbomb on the outside. Is the ring going to be able to contain these two? That's a question. That is a big question. Ooh, I'm thinking of some good matches now we could have at the King of the Cruiserweight finale. Of course, that is going to be a 7-match pay-per-view, the King of the Cruiserweight finale, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. It's going to be pretty awesome. Pretty damn awesome. And that's coming up for you on Sunday? Yes. Yep. Yep. Sunday the 16th. Mark it in your calendars. That's when the finals of the King of the Cruiserweights is happening. Big chop there by Generico, taking Ibushi down. And Generico's in firm control of this. He has actually dominated the majority of it up to this point. I know it's been quite a short match up to this point, but I'm trying a little bit speechless every now and again, just looking at the guys in the ring. Ibushi is an incredible wrestler, but I did not expect him to make an appearance here in the Cruiserweight, King of the Cruiserweight tournament. I thought he might be, PJ might have him a little bit ahead of this, but then again, putting him in this, he was in WWE's Cruiserweight Classics. No reason why he can't be in ours. It's just down to how you use it. Oh, we've got the dodgy Ibushi, haven't we, with the dodgy boots. Right, I'm going to have to download a new Ibushi then, because this is the dodgy one with the glitchy boots. Although the annoying thing is, it's a stupid bloody... If you've got a lot of cores like I have, you'll know the problem, but I've got this stupid download logos limit at the moment, which is frustrating the life out of me. But we're looking to make a big change, myself and PJ Tovey, and that will come into a play probably in about 2 weeks' time or so. But we're still trying to plan out and see how it's going to work. We've noticed an issue with the current SWE, and we want to fix it. So maybe we'll see that come into. I'm talking rubbish now, aren't I? There might be a big change coming up in the next few weeks. Let's just say that. So just keep tuned. But that will help us out greatly with the with some of the download limits. As Ibushi heads up top, we know he likes to utilize the Phoenix Splash, and there it is on El Generico. 1, 2. Wow. Wow, Generico, that was awful, mate. Generico put up no fight there whatsoever. He dominated the majority of it, but as soon as we got the Phoenix Splash, Ibushi dominated, and Ibushi is now going on to face up against Petey Williams in the quarterfinals. I'm sure we can find another match for Generico to have, though, at the King of the Cruiserweights tournament, at the finale. Yeah, I'm sure I can find him something to do. I've got a really great match planned in as well. And it's a real stunner, that match that I've got planned in for the King of the Cruiserweights. It's one that can cause a lot of controversy, but we're going to go for it. So Kota Ibushi is the last man to make it into the quarterfinals. We now have a full set of quarterfinals. Rich Swann versus Pete Dunne. Will Ospreay versus Mark Andrews. Christopher Daniels versus Akira Tozawa. Kalisto versus Hiromu Takahashi. Matt Sydal versus Kushida. And Petey Williams versus Kota Ibushi. That is going to be an incredible set of quarterfinals. And of course, you'll be able to see those starting in a couple of days' time. We'll have Swann versus Dunne, Ospreay versus Mandrews, and Daniels versus Tozawa on that next video for you. It's going to be good. It's really starting to come to a great point now. We've seen some surprising victories. We've seen some expected victories, I suppose, as well. And this tournament's just going to keep getting better and better and better, I hope. And of course, culminating with that big triple threat final at the King of the Cruiserweight pay-per-view next Sunday. So that's the end of this episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, of course, like, subscribe, all that other grand stuff. And I shall see you very, very soon for our next episode of SWE. Bye.
The one, two,